Last weekend I had the amazing opportunity to go to Knoxville, Tennessee to visit the GreenStalk office and their warehouse. They had the first ever affiliate weekend and I was invited to go there along with some other content creators, and we had so much fun. I filmed a few clips and a little vlog of the experience in there, but before I show that to you guys, just want to let you know that they're having a sale right now for the first day of spring for their vases. And I'm saying this before this video because I know you guys always ask me about the vases and when they're going to be on sale. So they're on sale now, so don't miss this chance. And they're doing free shipping with orders over $50 this time. So I'm going to leave the link to the sale on the description box down below. Now, if you don't know, GreenStalk is a family-owned business and all of the planters are made here in the US. They're all made in Tennessee. So we had the chance to go there and see all the process of how everything is done, and we had some other fun activities too. So I flew out of New York City on my birthday, March 14th, on Friday, to Knoxville. It was a very short 2-hour flight, very easy. I got there in the afternoon, around 5, and we had our first dinner. So they did a welcome dinner, so I went to the hotel real quick, changed, and went straight to the dinner. And we got a chance to meet some of the other affiliates there, as well as the whole GreenStalk team. I had the enormous pleasure to meet Becky from Acre Homestead and Gary from the Rusted Garden. Becky has a gardening and cooking channel. She does a lot of garden to table cooking as well as preserving. I really like her channel and appreciate her content, so meeting her in person was very nice. Same thing with Gary. Gary does more educational how-to garden videos, and when I started gardening I watched so many of his videos, so it was sort of a full circle moment to be able to meet them in person and get a chance to chat with them a little bit more. So the dinner was great. GreenStalk was super kind to actually have the band singing happy birthday to me since it was my birthday. They walked out with a cake that was divided among everybody, so it was a huge cake, and I got to blow the candles and make a wish, and it was very, very special. The next day we had some activities planned for us too. On Saturday was the day that we went to the office and we got to meet everyone and learn a bit more about their story. We got there in the morning, had some breakfast, and we were chatting for a little bit until everybody showed up, and we then went into a warehouse tour and we got some sneak peeks and some cool new products. I was very happy to learn that they even do their own molds. We saw these huge molds for the seed trays and everything that is needed to make the planter. And we first started in the office learning a little bit more about their story and their design process. I did film a few clips of that, so I'm just going to add them here and you guys can learn a little bit more about that too.
You know, we'd go to trade shows, and, no, not trade shows so much, but just shows, local garden shows, and just selling them out of the back of the truck, basically. But they're big. So logistically, it's not, you know, we didn't break even until, what, 6 years in or something. So the whole project, it's expensive. It's just big, it makes it very expensive. So, I don't know.
Family had fun.
Yeah, I mean, different individuals had fun and all that stuff. And, you know, we kept incrementally, you know, we added the mover bays. I think then we added the plant supports. So some of you have seen this lid. This is our new lid. Well, this is kind of how the process works. So we got complaints about our old lid because it had a little port on the side. And I guess some creatures would crawl in and, you know, make a home.
A snake.
Oh. And I would say, well, you know, somebody can put a little door over it, just call it a day. But eventually, she got me to design something, and I forget how many design iterations we went over this simple lid. But eventually we came up with a leaf design that slides open, and then so we made this. So this is finished part. We made a mold for all this whole thing, and then I give this to somebody. And I won't say who, but the first thing they did was try to peel this thing open. So then thought, we've got to make an adjustment here. One thing was we then added this little open here. So we got to kind of on the fly make some adjustments, see how we can accommodate and solve the problem, because if we ship this and people are doing this and they're left with a warped door, they're not going to be happy. So even something is just simple. And then when we were doing this, we realized it kind of left a little scuff mark here. So then I said, well, that's just the way it's going to be. And then Cody says, well, no, can't have that. So then I'm like, well, I could put a little groove on here that kind of makes it stand off and makes it, so it's not leaving a mark, it's an intentional mark. So she didn't like those designs. So then one of my sisters, Brooke, I think, sketched up a little swirly and, made it decorative. And then we were coming up with a bee, and maybe we were going to engrave a bee. But then we came up with the idea of actually making a separate part that snaps in. And once I made a little design on that, the ladies in the office really loved it. So it was like, we have to do that. And so that's how this kind of bee evolved. And then now you can see when this door slides open, there's a little groove on here that keeps it from scuffing the texture. So that's a little bit kind of how something like that sees the light of day. We're working on a kind of a universal mover base. This would be compatible with the GreenStalk, but also more universal for any large pots. That block of steel is actually going to make the tray that's going to go under a mover. And I don't expect it to be like the big seller, but it's going to answer the needs of certain people, especially if somebody's trying to do this indoors and they already have a mover. It's like, okay, well, here's a solution. So this is the way some of our molds start, is just blocks of steel. Sometimes you make these things and you don't know how it's going to run until it runs, and you shoot the plastic and then you hold it in your hand, and then you realize you need to make a change or adjustment or whatever.
One of the changes was after we had this, we shot parts, right?
Oh yeah.
The feedback was the dome.
Oh yeah.
So we were going to put a dome, and then of course we had already cut this, and this dome was supposed to fit on this. So we could weld this up. These are welded off, and these make slots in the tray. They'll accept the dome so it snaps. So that's always, we were fortunate that once you build this, we can weld it with steel and usually save it. We have to start all over.
I was kind of curious how much that weighs and how much one of those, just the raw metal costs even.
So the metal is actually a really cheap part of it. But this, we can see this mold altogether is about 4,000 pounds, so this is a couple thousand. So this side is a couple thousand. So we'll get the raw block of steel, which, let's say, if you're just looking at this one, $3,000. But the time that our guys have on that one block of steel will be a month. For a whole mold, something like this, 8 weeks.
How long does it take to drill out, or is that what you're doing, drilling into?
Yeah, there's drilling happening here. From the backside, there's all kinds of, you can look close and see there's holes, and there's actually ejector pins. These are pins that push the part out. So these two blocks of steel, that's a lot of times just the way it comes in. It's just raw blocks, saw cut. And we'll load it in the machine, they'll cut one side and start working. But everything has to be very precise. It's still more efficient to take this raw block and carve it out. I mean, if you think a cutter, it's going to, depending on the size of the cutter, we can remove a lot of cubic inches of material in a short amount of time. Then also the finish, we're in control of the finish.
So do you guys actually mold them here?
We don't mold the parts.
Okay, you make the molds and then someone
The
else
molds,
is the plastic?
yes. So there's a couple companies here within a couple hours of us that mold for us.
So you give them the molds?
Yes.
I see, okay.
And really it's a function of space. Let's keep walking. Come to us in here. You can see how much space it takes. It's really, and this looks like a lot, but this I think represents about 200? Or is it just 200 pots on there? It keeps me busy trying to design them for couple. We get our truckload of pots. All our guys would be sitting there moving these pots onto a mover. Now you might think, well, why would they do that? That's wasting time. Well, we can't be jockeying around skid loads of material and stepping on skids to try to unpack these. So it is still far more efficient to unstack them, put them on a little mover so that we can move them around. Well, we came up with a machine, see that arm thing, that can pick up the stack and set it on the mover base, set it on this mover base, and then it goes on. And I'll just start flowing down here and filling the boxes. And this is kind of continually changing based on needs and sales and that sort of thing.
After the warehouse tour, we had a little class for small businesses and content creators with Blair. She's a business coach. So we've learned so much about having our own businesses and becoming full-time content creators, and it was very nice of GreenStalk to offer that opportunity to us to all sit there and ask a lot of questions. We had some very experienced creators there that were very generous to answer the questions too, so everything was very collaborative, and that's why I love everything about gardening so much, because everyone is just so kind and genuine and down to earth, and we were all talking there just like friends, so it was very refreshing and inspiring to be there. After the class, we went to a photography studio and talked to the GreenStalk photographer. She was giving us some tips about photography and filming and all of that, and she even helped me out setting up my camera to have better quality videos for you guys. That was very nice. And we took some pictures in there, some headshots, talked a little bit more. And then for dinner, they were extremely generous to invite us to their own home. So we went to the GreenStalk's founder's home, and they're a family business, so a lot of the people that work for GreenStalk are part of their family, and they were all there, and they were all so kind and genuine. Everybody was just nice people. They definitely have outdone themselves. You know, when we got to the hotel, we got this little goodie bag that they had with our names. I have it here with me to show you guys. It was a very nice sturdy tote bag with everyone's that were invited names, and lots of gifts and snacks for us to eat during the trip. I ate most of the snacks, but I wanted to bring the bag here to show you guys what was inside. I wanted to do that there, but honestly, things were I felt a little bit rushed. I went by myself. I'm also new to creating content-ish, I guess. I've been doing this for a while, but I'm not very comfortable to do that in front of people. And to be honest, a lot of us were not really filming the other behind-the-scenes part. We all filmed the warehouse tour, but during the afternoon and the dinner, we're mostly just connecting and talking to each other. You know, it was so nice to just talk to each other as friends. So I don't know, I didn't really want to bring out the camera and just keep documenting everything, but I'll learn, and I have to get better at that. So we had the dinner. It was very nice. Not dinner, they had coffee. They hosted a coffee and dessert party after dinner, and we stayed there for a while talking to everybody, and then we went back to the hotel. Lots of us were staying at the same hotel. We just sat and talked for a very long time. It was very nice, and I feel so grateful to have had a chance to talk to them in person, one-on-one like that. Even though I'm not a full-time content creator, I work as a private chef in New York City. I don't post a lot about that here, but I'm a professional cook. But that's going to change moving on. After talking to Becky, she really inspired me to do a lot more cooking, and she was very encouraging and nice to tell me that she thinks it is possible to become a full-time content creator, and I am feeling very excited, inspired by this time, and I will try my best to keep posting more and possibly more cooking content and making better videos, so maybe I can call this my full-time job, which would be my absolute dream. I have some cool ideas for new videos that both Becky and Gary have given to me too, and hopefully I'll be able to do that. And the next day we had breakfast together. They're just so nice. And then after that on Sunday was an optional fun day. They got us tickets to go to Dollywood. I unfortunately couldn't go because I had to do some work from the hotel. I flew back in the afternoon on Sunday and I had to work the next 2 days, so I couldn't have stayed longer. But everybody that went said it was amazing, that it was really cool and a lot of fun, and they were having fun riding roller coasters and eating some good food, so that was nice. It was very nice to hear. So maybe next time, if they do it again next year, I'll have a chance to visit that too. But anyway, thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you guys being here, and I am so grateful for having an amazing opportunity to work with GreenStalk and have gone to Knoxville this weekend to meet the amazing family and the other amazing YouTube content creators. I really just can't hold in my heart how much gratitude I'm feeling right now. So I want to make sure to come here and express that gratitude to you too, because it all happened because of you guys, from being here too and watching my videos and commenting, liking and subscribing, all that stuff that helps you with YouTube and growth. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.